Hello and welcome to the Inner Game of Entrepreneurship podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and today I want to talk about knowing when it is time to step into a season of refinement. A lot of my clients come to me when they're at six figures or their first $200,000-$300,000 a year, and they want to go bigger. They want to go 500K a year to $1 million. And they're like, I know I can do it. My audience loves me. My offers sell. Things are working really well in my business. We just want more sales. We want more revenue. We want more customers. And they think the solution is that means we need more of everything we're doing right now. So if what's been working for us, what's gotten us here is that we have created a lot of new offerings and we're constantly innovating and we're always coming out with new things and clients are following us from offer to offer. We're bringing in new clients with every offer. We must need to do more of that. More offers, more launches, serve more people in each offer. Or maybe what's going really well is they have hands-on delivery and high ticket prices, and that's doing really well, but they're currently maxed on how much time they can give their business. They've hit the cap. They're like, the amount of money we're making is all the money we can make without me personally working more hours, and I have no more hours to give. Now we're stuck. The only way I can make more is if I work more, and I can't work more. We don't know what to do. This is where I tend to say that scaling feels completely illogical because we tend to believe that if we want more money, we want to make more in the business, then we have to do more work. And that's not exactly correct. Frequently, what's required to make the jump from low six figures to high six or seven figures is moving away from the period of invention and innovation and constant reinvention and moving into a period of refinement. And during that period of refinement, we actually take offers away. We take products off the menu. We narrow down and we get really clear and really focused on a limited menu that can be served really well at a really high quality and hopefully without as much of the owner's involvement. So that might look like hiring more team members. It might look like going from one-to-one to one-to-many. It might look like going from one-to-many to DIY. It might look like adding a mix of both or finding things you've already created and transitioning them into one of these other models. It might look like shifting away from a done for you service model into a done with you service model. Or it could stay a done for you service model, but we're adding team members and we're changing the pricing so that the business can continue to grow even when the owner is not the one delivering the work. What we're looking at is how do we become excellent at the main things that the business really does well and let everything else go and really go all in on the things that are working. We narrow the focus and we go for more volume in the things that the business does really, really well. And for so many founders at this juncture, this feels really hard to wrap their mind around. It can feel really scary and very counterintuitive to say, okay, well, the business is doing well and we're making multiple six figures and we just made a whole bunch of money off this offer. And now you're telling me to let this offer go. And I will always tell you as a client that you're the CEO of your business and you don't have to listen to me. But we will be looking at what are the most effective and efficient things to keep. Constantly coming out with new offers and new products actually slows your growth. And I've talked about this on other episodes before, but every time you launch something brand new, you have to educate an all new audience base about an all new product. And things never sell as well the first launch as they will with a little bit of familiarity. Offers that you launch over and over and over again actually compound your revenue more than constantly coming up with new things. And so when we are in a period of scaling, of trying to take a business that's working and go, okay, how do we make this work even better? How do we get even better results? That process is going to be one of refinement and cutting away anything extraneous more than it is just going to be about piling more work onto an already probably overloaded or maxed out system. This is why when a client comes into Powerhouse Mastermind or starts working with me one-on-one, the very first thing we do is a offer suite audit. We go through everything they're selling. We go through everything they've created. We look at the real numbers. How do customers respond to this? How do people like it? What are the results that people are getting from it? Do people ask when they can get it again? Are these the things that people are really into? Also, do these things serve the ultimate vision of the business? Is this what we want to be known for? Sometimes there are things in the product suite that are kind of duplicates of each other or too similar, and they can actually be collapsed into one thing. But we're really looking at where is the most bang for the buck in this offer suite, and how do we cut out anything that's a distraction and go all in on creating a really lean, repeatable menu of offers that gets the clients the best results, that builds the reputation of the business in the way that we want to build the reputation of the business, and allows us to make more sales with leaner, more efficient systems. There are certain times that I do think it is acceptable to be in a place of constantly creating and releasing new offers in your business. And I will tell you what they are. I have done it. Nothing is bad. It's only about what your goals are, right? It is okay to be constantly creating new things in your business and testing them out if you are just starting out. I call this period being in apprenticeship to your gifts. So when you're first starting out your business, you are in apprenticeship to your gifts. You are testing out in the field with real customers for real money. How does this work best? What do my customers really respond to? And what do I really like serving? And you try things out and you see what really resonates and what lands for people. You see how you do your best work. You figure out how you like working and how you don't. For example, when I first started my business, I offered 3-month coaching packages. I figured out really quickly I don't like doing that because the depth of transformation that most of my people come to me for just can't be accomplished in 3 months. And I would tell people that, but they wouldn't believe me. And they'd buy the 3-month package and then we wouldn't get all of their project done. And I'd be like, well, remember when I said this was going to take longer than 3 months and you didn't believe me? Here we are. So I was just like, no, I'm the expert. I'm the one who knows how long these projects are really going to take because most of my clients have a completely unrealistic sense of how long their ideas are really going to take. Pretty much everybody does. It's one of the things I call the first rule of business. Everything takes longer than you think it's going to. So I just stopped offering 3-month packages. I said, you can only work with me for 6 months or a year. That's what I do. I go for big projects. I go for in-depth transformation. 90 days is usually not enough for us to get the depth of transformation and results that I'm looking for people. So I'm not going to offer them anymore. But I wouldn't have known that without trying things out. So when you are first starting out, you might offer a bunch of different things. You might experiment with a bunch of different formats. You might create a big amount of intellectual property in your business. If you make products, you might make a bunch of different formulations of your product. You might test out different, scents, flavors, whatever it is that you're testing. During the time that you are in apprenticeship to your gift, it is acceptable and totally fine to be trying lots of new stuff, as long as you are also paying a lot of attention to what works and what doesn't. What do you like? What do you not like? What do you enjoy doing? What do you not enjoy doing? What are customers really responding to? What are customers not responding to as much? And we're using that data to eventually move out of the apprenticeship period and into the mastery and refinement period. Another time that it is, I think, a good idea to go back into apprenticeship to your gift is if you're in a big pivot, but you don't know what you're pivoting to. I went through this. If y'all have been with me for a while, I went through this at the end of 2023. I decided I was going to close my membership and I was going to pivot where I was focusing in my business, but I hadn't fully decided what I was going to offer instead. I had not fully found the next core offering for my business. And so I went back into my apprenticeship period and I tried some things out and I made some offers and I tested some things and I worked with new clients and I tested new messaging and I started finding my way. And then once I re-honed in on like, okay, this is what I want to do for the people that I want to work with. This is how I want to serve them. These are the ways that I want to work in my business. These are the ways I want people to be able to work with me. I refined again. There are things that I only launched one time. There are things that I only did once. And that's totally okay because I was in a period of testing out, what is this new level for me? What does this look like? And how do I want to show up here? I am sharing this with you today because I know there are some of you out there in this audience who are at the phase now where your apprenticeship to your gift period is coming to a close. It is time for you to start thinking about mastery and refinement. It is time for you to look through all of the things that you've created and figure out what stays in the business and what can be sunset, what might need to be made into one offer, combined, collapsed, condensed, and what needs to be completely let go. Maybe there's one thing that feels like it's missing that needs to be created, and you need to come into a period of having a lean, repeatable, solid offer suite that you can build your annual sales calendar around, that customers can look forward to and know by heart and say, oh, I love it when you launch this thing. I love it when there's a sale on that thing. We're always waiting for the doors to open to this thing. It's our favorite time of year when you drop this thing. Starting to let yourself build a reputation for a handful of things that you do exceedingly well, or maybe even just one thing that you do exceedingly well, rather than constantly coming up with new offers. If this is the place that you are in your business and you want support with this is exactly the kind of work that I do with my clients. You are always welcome to reach out to me and have a conversation about ways that we can work together. You can just go to my website, intuitiveedgecoaching.com, and find the different ways that we can work together. And that is what I have for you today. I hope that this was helpful. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much, as always, for being here. I know there's lots of different things you could be doing with your time. I always appreciate that you show up and that you listen and that you think about the things that I say. I love that you're part of this community. And if we don't work together yet, you should get in here. It's really fun over here. I'd love to work with you. Okay, love you. Bye.
That's our episode for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I know there are so many things that you could be doing with your day, so many things you could be listening to, and it means so much that you are here in this community. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment, share it on social media, and tag me at Intuitive Edge Coaching. Share it with a biz bestie who you think needs to hear it and will appreciate it. And take a moment to to subscribe, and to leave a 5-star review wherever you are listening. It helps me grow this show, and it helps us grow and sustain this brilliant community of entrepreneurs dedicated to doing the inner work. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, love you. Bye.